idea. And the story is that in Chabad, in Lubavitch, in the city of Brooklyn, 35 years ago, the custom was that the Lubavitcher Rebbe used to be the one who blows the shofar in the prayers on Rosh Hashanah. Thousands of Hasidim would gather in his shul, and everybody was waiting to hear. I never heard it. I never had the zchut to hear the Rebbe blowing the shofar, but I heard it was an unbelievable sound that people testify that it sounded like a crying baby. An unbelievable sound that tore the shamayim. People would break in tears just hearing it. And of course you can't record it, so we don't have any not evidence, we don't have any record of that. The story said that one Rosh Hashanah, maybe 35 years ago, he's blowing the shofar, 29 blows are going perfectly, and then the 30th blow, like it happens to many of the people who blow the shofar, doesn't work. I'm sure you experience it. You're in the shul and doesn't come out. And usually you would notice that the Baal Tkiya, he has a few shofarot, thanks them, rubs them, all these hocus pocus, and nothing comes out. This is a pretty common thing. Same thing. The Lubavitcher Rebbe, 29 blows are going good, the 30th doesn't work out. He changes also a shofar, tries to blow it, nothing comes out. He covers his head with the talit for a couple seconds, everybody's looking what's going on. And then there's a pause, and everybody's witnessing that the Lubavitcher Rebbe is looking in the crowd, he's looking to one direction for a couple seconds, and then he takes the shofar and blows the last tkiyah perfectly. Okay. After the holiday, they do Havdalah. It was Shabbat, they do Havdalah. They had a custom that on the wine that the Lubavitcher Rebbe used to do Havdalah, they used to pour more wine into a pitcher, and people would come in a row, and he would pour wine for everyone, just a little bit of wine, kos shel bracha. And you can see it on the videos that his secretary is standing and is refilling the wine, and he's pouring the wine to everybody's coming in a row. Hundreds of people are coming to put their cup out and get a little bit of wine. Comes this individual who seems on the external part very not observant. Doesn't come with a black suit or a beard or a yarmulke. Looks very, very not observant individual. The Lubavitcher Rebbe leans into him, whispers something in his ear, and then he goes. Now this was a very unique thing in the concept. In the time of the Kos Shel Bracha, the Rebbe never spoke to anybody. In the dollars and many other things, the Rebbe used to speak to people. Here he didn't speak to, never. And he leans down to him and whispers something in his ear. Everybody noticed this thing, and they all ran to this young individual. What did he tell you? What did the Rebbe tell you? What did he whisper in your ear? So he says, listen, I'm not really observant, but my wife and me can't have kids. I decided on Rosh Hashanah to come and pray. And I asked around, where can I find a minyan here? They told me, go to Brooklyn. I somehow found myself in this shul. During the time of the Tkiyot Shofar, the Lubavitcher Rebbe was blowing the shofar, and he's like, I started becoming all emotional. The sound of the shofar, and sounded like a baby, and we don't have kids, and I had a moment, and I prayed to Hashem, and I said, if you're going to bless me with a kid, I promise you that I will become a little bit more observant. And I promised that I bring my kid next year to this shul. And he says, and as I was having this moment of prayer, that's when the blowing of the shofar stopped. And A few moments later, I see that the Rebbe is looking at me through the crowd, and then he blows the shofar. That's the moment when he looked into the crowd. So they said, okay, so what did he whisper to you? So he said, he whispered to me, don't forget your promise. And he says, what promise? I didn't promise anything. So the Rebbe told him, the promise you said at the time of the Tkiyat Shofar, that if Hashem is going to bless you with a kid, then you're going to become more observant and you're going to come next year with the kid. So, besides the unbelievable miracle, regardless to that, of course, they was blessed with a kid. And why I chose this story to be so powerful is that on Rosh Hashanah, we make a lot of decisions. I'm going to start praying. I'm going to give more charity. I'll be nicer to my wife. I'll be a nicer Jew. I'll learn more Torah. I'll give this. I'll do that. Rosh Hashanah, suddenly our soul is very uplifted, and we come with all these decisions. Even on Elul, we're cooking it. But on Rosh Hashanah, suddenly I am the best Jew in history. I'm going to now treat my wife like a queen. I'm going to take care of my kids. Anyone who will ask me for something, I will help them. And Rosh Hashanah, I come with all these resolutions. Motzei Rosh Hashanah, I don't remember nothing. Suddenly my wife tells me, can you make me a cup of tea? Make it yourself. What happened to 5 minutes ago that you said you're going to treat her like a queen? 2 days later, somebody puts his hand out and he says, no, go and find a job. So, chas v'shalom, not to arouse any judgments against anybody, but we tend to make a lot of conditions. We tend to take on ourselves a lot of resolutions. And this is like a weak point that I feel, okay, that's the time. But unfortunately, we don't really stand up to our words. We don't do that. And I told somebody in the beginning of Elul, when he told me, how do I really need to do tshuva? I told him, try to remember all the resolutions you had last year and to see if you did one of them. And to do tshuva is just do what you said that you will do. So the point is that, yes, everything is decided on Rosh Hashanah. And we do want to pray for the Kadosh Baruch Hu to bless us with abundance of happiness, that we should just be happy and healthy, that parnasah should be easy, and my relationships should be smooth, that my education of the kids should come easy and comfortable. We want Hashem to bless us with everything. More than that, we want Hashem to bless us with the year that we'll see the coming of Mashiach. That's really what we need to pray for. But after that, after the highlight and all the excitement passes, then we're back to our day-to-day struggles, and we need to pray every day. The prayer is to start manifesting it down into the world. But really the prayer, one should take it as a reminder of what I was willing to do when I made those resolutions on Rosh Hashanah. Suddenly I was like, wow, I'm going to pray every morning. I'm going to wake up and go to the minyan. So keep up with it. And I decided to do A, B, and C. Keep up with that. That's one of the main reasons that we continue praying, is besides manifesting it into the world, besides that we're being judged every day from Shamayim, but we want to keep the excitement of Rosh Hashanah. We want to keep this focus, that I'm focused on Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because I know today I'm going to be blessed with everything. I want to keep that throughout the entire year. I want to make sure that every day, whatever I decided to do, it's very easy to talk. To talk the talk is very easy. And they say in America, talk the talk, but do you walk the walk? We got stuck now in America in the hurricane, which you'll hear about it for the next 3 months. But we were literally in Miami, and my daughter was with me, and she got very scared. And even when the hurricane hit and we were sitting in the home, this is not a pleasant experience. And I was seeing her mumbling, and And I was like, what do you say? She was like, no, if we get out of this, I'll be the best daughter, I'll be the best student, I'm gonna go to school every day, she was like, and I was like, look how funny that is. A young girl, she's like playing a deal now. If we're gonna be safe, when we see all these trees flying everywhere, and it's not a nice scene, and it's not even rain, it literally looked like the flood of Noah. It's pretty insane. But I see her, 12-year-old girl, saying, I'm going to wake up to school. She's talking to Hashem. I'll never be late to school. I'm going to do my homework. And I'm like, look at that. So we always do the same thing with Hashem. We plead our case. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll be here, I'll be the best here. And then when the storm passes, suddenly you forgot all your New Year's resolution. So the prayer comes to remind me, listen, we want to keep it up through the entire year. We have to remember our promise. To pray to the Kadosh Baruch Hu when I need something, it's very comfortable, but I usually promise to Hashem things. So hey, it's not good to promise to Hashem nothing. It's just to say, I'll do my best, I'll do. But if you already made a promise, don't forget your promise. And that goes to not only to Hashem, is anybody around you. You promise something, that's a very serious thing. Bezrat Hashem, if we pray the right way on Rosh Hashanah, then I do know that Hashem answers our prayers. Hashem is considerate to everything that we need and all our wishes. And we need to pray this Rosh Hashanah, besides to all the good things that we want for ourselves, we need to pray for everybody else, and we need to pray for the redemption. And Bezrat Hashem, we're not going to need to pray so much after that. If Hashem is going to listen to our sincere prayers that we need Mashiach, then Bezrat Hashem, we're not going to need to pray for any more things, because we're going to have the redemption with us with no problems anymore. But Bezrat Hashem should all have a beautiful, blessed year with an abundance of happiness, and real health, and parnasah, and love to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and the ability to see the beauty in everything, and to have the merit to see the coming of Mashiach with our own eyes.